Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Tangent Podcast, episode 116 for the week of May 22nd, 2017. I'm your host, Brian Thomas, alongside my lovable co-host, Justin Kane.
What's up?
The Beacon of Light, Anthony Salvatore. The Bootless Wonder, Gary Hines.
What's up?
And we're the podcast for the site pixelatedpoints.com, where we talk about the games that we've been playing during the week in a little segment we like to call Under Your Thumb. We take a quick break and come right back with the Drunken News Game Show.
Nailed it.
But first, how was everybody's weeks? It's been a while.
It has
since
been
we
a
last
while.
recorded.
It has been a while. Justin, you talked to somebody this week. How'd that go?
Whom?
Who did you talk to this week that you texted the entire group?
Oh, I don't even remember his name. So that's not a good story to tell.
No?
I don't remember his name.
You don't want to talk about the 343 Blizzard employee that you met and had an hour-long conversation with?
I can find his name.
We'll get his name, but how was your conversation?
I was very interesting. Yeah. They met this employee who worked at 343 Studios, currently works at Blizzard, and he works in the multiplayer to some capacity. But yeah, we just sat there, shot the shit about video games. He saw I had my Nintendo Switch on me, so he was in town for a convention. And it was pretty interesting to just get an opinion of someone who is in the industry. It was very interesting. It was a good conversation.
What is the...
Nick Kohler. You
Nick
can follow
Kohler.
him on Twitter at LilBlueBot.
Yeah, and he said that is a reference to Mega Man.
Oh, all right.
Sweet.
I love Mega Man.
Sweet. So did you get the lowdown on the next Overwatch character? Like, when's Doomfist coming?
Yeah, he did.
That would have been the first question I asked this guy.
I honestly didn't think to ask him any of those questions, but
I mean, why would you?
Yeah. Well, I was just
You don't
trying
want to hit him with the hard.
I was in the flow of the conversation. You don't just jump around. You go with it. But
You guys just shit on Mass Effect Andromeda.
we shit on
for a
Mass
while.
Effect Andromeda for a while, and we shared a love for the first Mass Effect. Yeah, it was interesting. Had a couple of beers and, called it a day.
Where
Shook
did you
his
meet
hand.
this gentleman?
I just met him at a bar downtown in Boston. Called him
Excellent.
McGreevy's.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Nice little promotion from McGreevy's there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's
We'll
what,
be
that's what
looking
we
for
do.
our checks.
Well,
in the
you
mail.
guys asked. And it was also my birthday on Monday.
Yep.
So
Happy
I turned
birthday.
28. Fucking
Birthday.
Your
confetti.
Celtics won on your birthday.
They won on my birthday to clinch the LeBron beating. So we're in the midst.
sweep
We're
that's
in the
coming.
we're in the midst of that. I think
It's
the game's
probably
on right
about to
now.
start.
Yeah.
Yep. the
Very
game is
soon.
So if you're
starting
listening to
soon.
this, the Celtics are down. 0-2 to the Cavaliers. So yeah, that was it, man. You guys always go on about this. How was your
It's a
week?
cool
Shit.
story, man.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
a
it's
really
pretty
cool
good.
story.
It's pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, you actually
I
brought
don't
something
hate it.
to the table this
That's
week.
appropriate for.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess this week,
Yeah.
that could be interesting if that's
And it was your birthday.
if I signed up to, tell people about my personal life, okay? Geez, now people know where I hang out, Brian. Is that what you want now? I'm not safe.
That's true. You are not safe. You
me
did.
and, me
you
and
did,
Nick Kohler, we're not safe anymore.
You did meet a listener today, or not today, last night, right?
I knew Carl.
Yeah,
But
you
I
knew
saw
Carl,
a listener.
but you-
He's a fan. He was starstruck. Saw me at the bar.
Yeah.
Came up to me. He was in awe. I signed his T-shirt and he ran out of there.
Sounds about right. Yeah. That's exactly.
Can we get off of my week? Who's next?
Sure. Yeah.
Brian, you have a week?
I did. I do. I had a week. I went to the Boston Red Sox game last Friday.
Sweet.
When was the
We're
last time
going
you went to a
next
Red Sox
Saturday.
game?
Last time I went was last season.
Not bad.
They won that game. They lost this game. It was a bad night for Boston sports that night. Red Sox lost, and then we were all sitting in Fenway Park watching the Celtics game, and John Wall hit that three, and everyone was just dead silent, and we were all like, "Let's go Celtics!"
And
And
then
then
everybody
just
died.
fucking-
So
everyone was like,
got
"Let's
up.
go to fucking Cask and Flagon."
I lost $300 on that shot.
That shot.
That shot.
Well, yeah.
Hashtag welcome to Vegas.
Yeah,
So I went to Las
baby.
Vegas. I'm not going to cut into your story real quick, but yeah, I lost a lot of money on that shot.
Sorry, bud.
It hurt.
It's a
It hurt.
$300 shot hurled around the world, huh?
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Yikes.
Wasn't good.
Yikes. But yeah, that was really the highlight of my week. I can't really think of much else that I've done. So, Gary, you went to Vegas, though.
I did.
Yeah.
Some people just can't handle Vegas.
Some people can't. Some people can. Yeah, I came back actually gambling wise. I finished up 600 or 500, 600 bucks.
Okay, so you're in the black. That's what they call it.
That's what they
Vegas
call it
terms?
out there?
Yeah.
Sure.
You're in
go,
the
Brad.
black. You're not in the red.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in the
black and red.
Your
Um,
ledger is full of.
Yeah,
we get
I
it
would
now.
have
We got
left up 1,000 if the Celtics won that game.
or just if he didn't hit that shot, really, they only needed what? Oh, did you play the 5 points or did you not?
No.
Okay,
So the Celtics were getting 5 points. I got greedy for more money and just took them as a pick 'em. And so I just needed them to win the game. It looked good. They were up 5 with a minute left, had the ball, 2 turnovers, and then John Wall. So that sucked. But I mean, Vegas is fucking crazy. It's insane out there. I've never been before, so I
really like your hat.
It's a
Or
$2
visor,
hat.
excuse me, visor.
It's like a visor, but also like
But
an
that
accountant
tells you
visor.
that you're up 800 in the black when you're wearing that. You can tell.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I spent the last
Exactly.
my last day on Sunday sitting at the slot machines wearing this hat, just being a local in Vegas, just hitting the slots.
Hey Jimmy, how are you? It's good to see you, bud.
Exactly.
Good. How's your mother? She's well. Thanks.
But I mean, it's crazy out there. I mean, it's just nonstop parties. You can drink on the street. Like, we went and ate great food, and then after you're eating at a restaurant, they just bring you plastic cups and just like, all right, you can put your drinks in here, and you guys can leave. And it's just like I'm pouring like my mixed drink into a cup and just walking down the street.
We did that.
It's a mix.
If
for
you ever
bad
been
behavior.
to New Orleans, it's the same thing. New
On Bourbon
Orleans-
Street in particular, right?
No, anywhere. You can
Anywhere?
just. So we were walking towards Bourbon Street, and my buddy was like, "Oh, let's go to this liquor store right here. Just whatever you want, just one single thing. Cracked it, put it like you could just walk down the street with this glass, like this bottle in your hand, just drinking. No one gives a shit.
Yeah, no, it's
I like that.
it's nuts. And then I've never experienced vertigo before.
Oh,
And that was interesting. So we went to this club on Friday night. We all got all dressy and
You got
spiffy,
dolled up.
all dolled up for everybody. And we get to the club, and they're like, all right, get on this elevator. And we went like 75 floors up. I'm
Uh-oh.
like, I'm not good with heights. So I'm like, we're going 70, like, fuck.
70, how many? 71.
So it was my buddy's bachelor party, so we had to go, and it was a roof deck bar on the top of the Mandalay Hotel. It was fucking incredible. It was crazy, like just dancers.
I
just
can
like,
see you just like
and-
grabbing the wall, like
You go out there,
Can I get a
and
drink?
it is like people just hanging over the side, just drinking, chilling, and I'm sitting there like I couldn't even talk to people. I was getting dizzy, and I was out there for like 2 hours. It was not good.
I've been in a plane with Gary, and it is for him. It seems to be a very intense experience.
Yeah, the
But
ride
funny
home,
for
like,
you, I'm
freaking.
sure.
Oh, it's hilarious for me, but he's just like freaking the fuck out. So yeah.
I hate flying, but actually the flight home, it's like a 5-hour flight. I slept the entire way.
That's
after like being in Vegas for 4 days. Like I got on the plane as soon as the plane took off and the lights went out, I was sleeping. And then I woke up and I was back in Boston at like 5 a.m. on Monday, and it was just like, what the fuck is going on? So I've been dealing with the time change. It was a great experience. I don't think I ever want to go back, but I'm glad I experienced
some
it.
people can't handle Vegas.
They
It's
just
fine.
can't. They just can't. But I got this fucking sweet hat to
Yeah.
remember it by. So
Nice.
Excellent.
You did
Very,
it.
very nice. Steve, you got anything for us?
Just that 3-point shot probably won me my basketball square.
Ooh, baby.
I'm actually on fire. I won 2
Oh, really?
in a
There you
row,
go.
There
like
you go.
both games.
Wait, you're on fire? Was that an NBA Jam pun?
Boom, chakalaka.
He's on fire!
Well,
Nice.
it's awfully loud.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what happens.
spikes.
Spikes, yeah. It's all right. I
But yeah,
edit the podcast.
That's
It's
about
fine.
it. I won those classy squares.
Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Gambling's fun, kids.
Yeah. So besides money and sports, we actually talk about video games on this podcast. So we're gonna get into Under Your Thumb this week, and you know what? There's Steve slacking on the notes.
Well, I went
back
last,
there. So Steve went last week.
so
So
I'm picking myself.
oh, you selfish son of a bitch.
get it over with.
So first game I'm gonna bring up is the iPhone game I brought about 2 weeks ago, Polytopia,
Oh yeah, yeah. This
And
is
that
like
was
that SimCity.
civilization
Yeah.
like, type game. The other thing I want to mention about it is the fact I said it was 30 term limit.
Yeah, like a 30-day thing.
I wasn't paying attention enough in the beginning before you start the game and ask you if you want to do a 30 term limit or an endurance, like a limitless endurance
Until you
like
fuck it up.
endless.
until you lose.
Or until
because there
you lose.
are people can come and invade, so it's a limitless.
Okay.
You have the option.
So
to
that's like
choose
more
limitless.
sandbox. Or no, I guess more like, yeah, limitless, I guess.
Yeah,
that
so
covers it.
just wanted to mention that. So
nice.
that has
Good
made
word.
the game more interesting.
Infinitely more fun.
Infinitely more fun. There you
Nice.
go.
Okay, very.
And then the only thing I'm going to mention is Breath of the Wild. I beat the game.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
The story
Ganon
Ganon was complete.
Did you upgrade any hearts, or did you go in just straight
Nope.
up?
How many
'Cause
hearts
you get
did you
8
7
or
hearts?
7, yeah.
Normal stamina, 1 bar.
Just one
Damn.
You're a
se-
fucking psychopath. How long did it take you? Like 40 minutes to be able to like wait for your stamina to come back and fucking smack them a bunch?
I didn't need stamina.
Oh, really? I'm always hitting that fucking, holding that B button down.
Oh.
Power swings?
Oh,
all
the
day.
power swings.
All day.
I don't want to spoil too much.
Oh,
I don't think it's
yeah.
really a spoil for the tactics. I mean, there is a point where I technically would need stamina to dodge, because he eventually has a shield in one of his
Shielding.
Stages.
stages, and that's what made me. I probably could have beat him the first time.
Oh, when you stumbled across him by mistake?
Yeah, and then I went. So it took me 3 tries. So I did it the second time a couple weeks ago after the first one, and that was kind of a half-ass attempt too. But I took it more seriously. But I got to that shield part, and I couldn't figure out
Like where your
what to
opportunity
do
was.
to get rid of it. There were a few things that, like, if you use what is it, the Dario's shield?
Oh,
Oh, yeah,
Daruna's. Yeah, it's like
the
Daruna.
Goron's shield. If he hits you while you have it on, it'll knock his shield off.
So how do I get that? Because that's been happening. Does that just happen when I'm blocking and I have full health, or is it
No,
I have
wait.
to have one of the shields activated?
Do you not see on the left side of the screen? It shows you have those icons.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I
if
wasn't
you
sure how
have
the
those,
shield
like-
one worked.
Oh, if you have you have 3 of them. So you have 3 blocks with it, and then once you're done with that, it goes away.
It's on the screen. I turned my.
Oh, so you don't.
I turned
turn
my
the hub
thing.
off?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm blind.
Crazy.
Yeah. So it'll tell you there's like the Mina's Grace. Where,
Yeah, I saw that. I just wasn't sure because the other one's like
yeah,
it's
they
very
just-
tellable. Like if you hold B down for X amount of time.
Well,
you're
if you
gonna
hold this,
activate
it's
it.
very tellable. He puts like a red
Yeah.
shield around you.
Does it only go away if somebody hits me?
You get hit. You can get hit 3 times.
before
Okay.
he
Before
stops.
he
doing
stops
it.
Because
and you
as
need
of
to
right now, it
recharge.
seems unlimited. I've never been. Like I said, I avoid most enemies, but it's
that one
always
does
Right.
come
If you're
back
not
quick,
if
though.
you're
So if they
right.
don't hit me, I'll just keep it because I
Right.
didn't get the 3 hits or whatever.
Yeah.
Interesting.
The best one, the one that you probably can't tell, is the bird one.
I don't have that, so don't tell me what it
Bird
is.
one is dope as shit.
It is dope as shit, and that
Saved it for last. Whatever. What an idiot.
Give yourself a point, Steve.
Yeah, dope as
is,
shit. I like you said that, man.
that is a good
Appreciate
one.
that.
That's one of the reasons why I stumbled upon Ganon's, where to fight Ganon, because I
Yep.
was using
Dicking around with the ability.
with that ability.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So yeah, the ending's great. I got all the memories. I don't know if I said I got them all last week.
Yeah, you told us.
Yeah, so I have them all. There's only one left, but that's only because I haven't gotten the Master Sword. It
Okay.
gives you a memory for the Master Sword.
Yep.
The last couple memories are really, really good. I'm hoping
Story wise,
Yeah,
or like
story-wise.
finding the memories.
finding them too. They're interesting spots. But story wise,
Gotcha.
I
I'm
like that they got
hoping-
the voice acting as clutch.
yeah, I like the way they did it. I'm hoping I could play them all through when I get them all,
Like a
Yeah,
one.
and
just to
then-
watch them straight through.
If not, just go to YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not as classy.
Well,
But I really like the way they told that story using the memories, and it's not super forced.
Yeah, if you want it, you can get
If
it.
you
If
want
not,
it,
you don't even have to touch
You
it.
know, the only thing I would kind of bothers me is the order that you potentially find them out in the order that the story goes.
I found one of the last memories like very early on. And I was like, oh, that's weird.
But it's kind of, when you think about it, it's interesting because you wouldn't remember, like, he lost his memory.
Yeah.
So you're not going to remember stuff in the order
So
that
that's
it happened.
probably realistically
Yeah,
So
how
that's-
it would
I
go
guess
down.
kind
that's
of-
all
Well, other
realistic.
games have done that as well. Like I know in Doom, instead it wasn't video memories, but it was like audio logs, and
Right.
the order that you find them was telling a story. So if you found one in like mission 1, you
Right.
listen to that, and then mission 4, you missed 2 audio
Yeah.
logs. But
You're still gonna get that.
but once
yeah.
you get them all, then you get the whole story.
Yeah.
So.
that kind of makes
I mean,
sense.
it's just
yeah.
trigger. I mean, the idea is like it could. I mean, in real life, in the sense of like you could wind up walking to a place and then
Yeah.
remember something that wouldn't necessarily
Yeah.
be
The
chronologically
game's
in
super
order.
realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the only thing else, the Ganon fight was, the first half that I had trouble with was hard. The second half is actually really cool, but not too difficult. And the ending's very good. It's a very nice ending.
Second
And
playthrough, or what do
well,
you
I'll do a second playthrough when I buy
A Switch.
a Switch, I think, for
You
sure.
pay for that bundle.
Because I want it. Makes me excited for the DLC. I'm interested in getting a dungeon or two more.
Well, it's one. It's the DLC is like one
It's like a story
dungeon,
plot.
Yeah.
but it's also a story.
Story.
arc.
Yep. And
which is
then
an
I'm
impressive,
I'm pretty excited for the hard mode. I want to ramp this bad boy up.
You're ready to go.
Oh, and yeah.
No fucking thanks.
I'm 87.
I fought 2
shrines.
Lionels at the same time.
Did you get
and-
killed?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I almost killed one.
So
We got that going for you.
yeah, I think it's
So
great.
that's pretty fucking sweet. Almost
Nice.
killed.
But yeah, I'll get the Master Sword when I get all the shrines.
You're not gonna get the Master Sword and then do the shrines.
No, I'm gonna
What
get
the
all
hell
the
are you gonna
shrines
do with the Master Sword?
and then just
Also, you're never gonna get the Master Sword.
I can get all 120 shrines. That's not a big deal.
Never mind. We'll talk off air. We'll talk
Oh,
off air.
we'll see
He's
what
already
happens.
capable of getting the Master Sword. He just
Yeah,
needs
I
to
know.
go and
That's what
pick
I'm
it up.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
No, I know I can get it.
he knows. He just
Okay.
doesn't
But
want
you know,
to.
you clearly know something I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think he does.
No, never mind. We'll talk off air. We'll talk
Sure.
off air.
But yeah, excited
do
for the
that off
DLC.
air.
Mm-hmm.
I will continue to play this game for a while. I think.
Yeah, as long as the DLC is meaty,
I mean, it's 2 for 20 or
Or
whatever.
potato guy.
There we go.
you're more.
Well, I
of a
did max out
potatoes.
the meat. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that 999
Yeah.
meat.
Chicks dig it.
Yeah, chicks dig the 999.
Yeah, you gotta get that
meat.
maxed out meat.
Well,
But-
there's the title of this podcast.
Yeah. Whoopsie.
I think that's it for me. I think I'm gonna head over to Justin.
Yeah. Well,
Seems like the logical.
it seems logical. I don't really have anything to add to that because I've just been shrine grinding, so I'm sticking around. Really, 2 Lionels at the same time. Got my ass whooped. I'm into that. So yeah, I guess I'll move on past that game, and I will say that I beat the Witcher 3's main story.
Congratulations.
I did
You
it.
finally did it.
I did it.
Confetti.
I don't even remember where I stopped playing it.
You stopped. I know exactly where you stopped. So you know at the end of the game, and we can kind of spoil the game's like 2 years
Yeah.
old right now. At the end of the game, where you're fighting on a ship
Yeah, and do
that's
I not?
crashed, and you're fighting. It's like a boss battle. It's the second to last.
Does
boss
everybody fight on the ship, or is it a story thing? Because I do. It's the guy where he's like the king of the wild hunt, right?
Yeah.
And you like smack his mask off and you fuck him up.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if I was on the boat, but I definitely. So that was the last. That's where I left off.
Battle. Yeah.
So
So
I
you were literally a boss battle away.
a
From
one
beating the
boss
game.
battle away. Yeah.
So close.
But yeah, since I'm interested now, I beat him, and I guess to answer Gary's question from like 2 years ago when you wanted to know what my ending was.
Yeah.
So this time, it looks like I got like the super good guy ending, where me and Yennefer was the one that I went with. Me and Yennefer.
Good choice.
In our story, we broke. There was like a curse that bonded us together. I'm not sure if that was from the first game. I don't remember that. I pressed a lot of X, so so we broke the bond, but the love was still there even when we broke the
Yeah.
bond, anyways.
So you know you really love her.
Yeah, we're super in love. So it goes to tell you that like her and I live like happily ever after, and we go on long walks and like we bang each other, whatever. So then Ciri pretends to bite the bullet, save humanity from, or save not humanity, save all the living creatures, whatever the fuck they are, from the wild hunt, and it would appear that she pulled the ultimate sacrifice and died. But she actually, in my game, pulled the switch on everybody and pretended to be dead, and Geralt trained her to become a witcher, and she like lives happily ever after. Her dad's an emperor, that she hates him, and he stopped looking for her. So everyone just assumes that she's dead, so she gets to go on and live the life of a witcher like she wants. And the people in was the first area Novigrad?
Yep.
There's Novigrad, and then you said Skell Ridge.
Skell Ridge. So Novigrad, the native people, the native army won the war on both of the maps for me. So I think it was the Redanian is the intruding army. So in my game, they got defeated and the land went to the people who already live there. And I think that was like all the story tie-ups. I'm not sure if there was...
So I know when we talked about it, we had completely different endings. I was a complete asshole throughout my playthrough, or multiple playthroughs, and everyone pretty much died. I know, like, Ciri, she did sacrifice herself and got trapped on the other end of the portal, and she's gone forever. And then I know that we had opposite endings with Novigrad and Skell Ridge. And then the final scene was Geralt in a house by where the witches were, and his house was getting surrounded by all the monsters, and there's like 100 monsters coming down on this one house. So, and then it cuts to black at the end of that.
They're pretty warm, but I'll try one.
And so basically Geralt was going to die at the end of mine. So I think we had completely different endings, but I know there was like 20 something endings.
Probably so many because they were like really
So
nice.
many
They were like
different
art
little
clips.
variables.
Yeah, they did it like comic book style. Like Geralt went on to do this, which I really like about the game.
Yeah.
But I did notice once you beat it and you're done, it tells you like, okay, we're gonna go back. The setting is right before the last battle, but you're not gonna have the option to do the last battle again. You're gonna continue leveling, whatever.
Yeah.
So when you load the game, which I'm a little sad, you no longer have Dandelion like Geralt was blah 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 blah. Because usually when you would load it up, he'd be telling you what you were doing.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, but they didn't have any Dandelion for like now that I'm on the DLC
Did you get
parts.
any weird glitches throughout the game? As far as like, I remember I took a video of that one glitch where me and Dandelion were talking at a table and we were drinking or eating soup, and like I'm sitting there with a spoon. In the animation, like my hands were down by my
But
my
the
legs,
spoon was going
but
up.
the spoon just kept going up and down to my face, and it was just a floating spoon as like the cutscene was going on.
Yeah,
Do you get any good glitches?
I
mean,
definitely have some. I know I've been saving some clips. I've had the funniest scene in the Heart of Stone is the DLC I'm playing now, which I heard is like the lesser of the two DLCs. It was the first one, and there's a scene where I'm at a wedding
Yep.
and I go to dance, and it's kind of funny, Geralt dancing with the girl that you're with. But the funniest part is in the background, the NPCs are like dancing, and they're killing it. They're doing like the dropping the one leg out, and they're just going nuts. So I saved that, and there's plenty of I'm having issues when you're trying to traverse anything that is slightly at an angle. He slides as an animation for him sliding on both feet. And if he's anywhere near water, he dives into the water and he swims like 2 feet out before you can turn him around.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to like sketchy jump around, I'm sliding down rocks, jumping into the water. And I'm like, fuck, you go back up, you take 2 steps up, he slides down the rocks, dives in the water. And I'm doing a lot of like,
Backtracking, like, son of a bitch.
like, yeah, and I should have
there's
just stayed on the road the whole fucking time,
Yeah,
and
but
I
you
shouldn't have
can't,
done.
though.
But you can't though.
You
can't though.
I mean,
There's even shit
there's
in the
been so
water.
many-
You're like, what is that? You fucking dive in. It's a
been-
pearl. They're worth like $900. You're like, yeah, I want that.
exactly. There's just so much stuff to do and explore in that game. I thought the glitches were half the fun. I mean,
Yeah.
they weren't as bad.
I think
as
they
a game
cleaned it
like
up now that I got
Skyrim
the
or whatever. But
yeah.
I mean, like I said, the spoon glitch was hilarious.
Roach running through.
Roach going through walls or spawning in the water or coming
He still
through a
does
bridge.
down the mountains. He doesn't jump as much, so I try to hit B. So I think they blocked him off of jumping off of shit. But if you do get him off of it, it's just legs up. His ass is way up, and all 4 of his legs are up, and you just kind of slide down the mountain on his back.
Yeah, so like when you go down like the side of a mountain with him, it gets to a point where you pick up so much speed and the mountain's just going up and down that you just start like flying like E.T. Like, you know, the kid on the bike with E.T. in the front, like you're just flying off with this horse just like in the air, just galloping. Like, and I mean, but there was no real fall damage. I mean, unless you jump off, if you jump off the complete side
No,
of it.
I'm saying I'm getting the most I die in this game is from falling off or jumping off of shit that I thought I was so good for that.
Yeah.
Like you'd be surprised. I think that sometimes the hit registration for it might be a little bit because you'd be surprised. Like, okay, like jump off of a dock, nothing. Jump off of like, let's say like a 10-foot roof or something. But as soon as you hit like that, whatever it is, 12 foot, 13 foot, it's like a super hard cut and like you die. I die so much from just pedestrian type of shit. Like, oh, I walked over a ledge instead of going down the ramp and dead. It's just like, okay.
I didn't remember that, but
Well, but I bet you I'm being more of a meathead about it because I'm so
yeah,
used
I'm
to
sure.
Skyrim and
yeah,
shit.
You're,
like
you're
jumping
just like,
over
I
ledges.
wonder if I can live from this.
So yeah, I'm like running down the street and I see a railing and I just jump over it and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, actually that was like 40 feet
Yeah.
and I just died. Yeah.
So you get any of like the Master Witcher gear?
So I was able to get a Master Witcher set of the Feline set, which is a light
The
Witcher
lightweight
set.
set. Yeah.
I have it to master, but with the DLC Heart and Stone, I think I can now find somebody eventually to give me Grandmaster, and that will unlock actual buffs for the set, which is dope.
Yeah.
And this DLC gave me a Rune Maker. It would appear. I gotta give him some money. I don't have enough money to give him right now, but I think he will take the runes that I don't really use. You can use runes for your sword and your
armors.
clothes, and you get a lot of them, so it's designed for you to keep interchanging them. But I don't really even bother with it because it's like 5% chance, 10% chance. And as you get the higher ones, it's like 20%. But this dude, it would appear that he's going to morph them together. I wasn't able to make one yet. because I wanted to, I'm nerdy about it. Want to go get all the supplies for the good ones. But it appears he's going to give me some pretty high level runes now, which I'm excited
he'll combine them and buff. Like if you have 2 like average runes, he'll make it like an elite.
So instead of 5%, it'll be 10%. And I love poison, which is dope. There's a lot of poison ones, like 10% chance to just poison your enemy.
Yeah,
and I got poison.
I was using like all poison.
I love poison. It's my favorite. You did fire. There's a bunch of different ones. I'm a poison guy usually, so I'm excited about that. And
so you started the DLC now, the first DLC.
Yeah, and it looks like I'm about to be finished with it.
Wow.
'Cause I heard it's not super lengthy. It was
Well,
more of like the adding of the runes and adding of the
it's still
some
a
other
good
shit.
10 hours, 15 hours.
And there's
of
side
story
quests.
and side quests there. The second DLC, Blood and Stone,
Is like an
Blood and
actual
Wine.
Blood and
Wine's
Wine.
actually a new map area.
I've heard it's basically a new game.
Yeah, that's going to give me the new
that
message
story
boards,
is
the new
fucking
markers.
That's a really
And
good
I
one.
have not gone and looked for all the question marks on the map, which are going to give me side quests.
Yeah.
So I've done all the side quests that I've physically walked across, but I haven't gone looking
Yeah,
for
and the
them.
good thing about the question marks as well is even when you beat the game, like you can go to
I already
question
have.
marks that are back to the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
It scales to your level, so it's worth going after all the question marks, even though it's in a level where you only started.
Well, I'm not sure. Maybe I would have already had to have gotten the question mark because I still coming across like level 7s, at certain this one. But then you walk over to this one, and this one is actually level 30s. So
it must just be like the weapon type or the armor set,
or maybe what the stuff that they drop.
because they scale to the highest level, if not your level. Once you've exceeded a certain level or exceeded the game, it makes it.
Well, I
worth it.
noticed that the guards do that because I always, in the very beginning of the game, I got into a fight with the guards to see what level they were, and they were like 10 levels ahead of me. So I'm
Did
like,
you beat all the hand-to-hand like?
I did
Fight
all the
Club?
hand-to-hand combat. I did all the racing. Roach is like hooked up.
And then did you?
And
how
all the-
did
Gwent.
Gwen go?
I'm still on the Gwent grind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
your tactic not working out.
No,
for
my
you?
tactic still works. It's just you can only get 15 cards. You have to have 22, and you only get, I think, 10 in the beginning. So my strategy is I want to get all 3 of my spy cards, and if I don't get any spy cards or any decoy cards, which I can pick up an enemy's spy card if they use one on me, it fucks up my strategy and I lose. But then you just play them again, and then as long as you get a good hand. So it's still working, but it is tough. But I've been getting a lot of good cards, I realized, by playing the merchants, even though they're not story-based, they give you cards when you beat them, and there's no penalty for losing.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm going to use it, because I still need, there's like 5 decks, and there's like 40 cards per deck. So I got quite a few cards to get. It doesn't look like it's going to be as easy as I thought to just like, I'll just buy them all from the merchants. But it's just like, that's not going to work, idiot. Some cards have 3 of them, so you have to get all 3 of the one card. But yeah, it's been fun. I actually really enjoy it, and I'm able to use it as like, in the main story of the DLC, I needed to get a guy to work for me, and he was locked up in a jail. And so I could fight all the guards, I could do this, I could do that, or I challenged him to Gwent. And I whooped his ass.
You're
He
like,
gave
I
me a
know what to
card.
do
I'm
here.
like, I know the deal. So it's almost like another skill to impact the conversations, which is nice.
Yeah.
So
Sweet.
yeah, that's about it. I'm really excited to. I thought that this DLC was way more interesting to me personally than the main story. Maybe it was because obviously I'm playing it a second time, so it's not as, I've seen some of it before. But I thought that this DLC, the first way you're introduced to the mission and the main character that you're interacting with, actually 2 main characters that they show you, they're both very like magical, and they have like shit going on that you're like, oh shit, like it's not just fighting knights again, more guards. It's like
I think
these guys.
storytelling in any of the Witcher games is a strong suit of it.
I haven't skipped a single cutscene in the DLC. I haven't been spamming any X. Like I want to know who these guys
second
are.
DLC, like you're not gonna want to either,
Yeah.
and it brings you to a
Basically
different part of the map, and it's
France.
like it's brighter, it's more flamboyant, like it's just completely, it's like a different game, you know, and that's what a DLC should do. I think The Witcher 3 is one of the best at it. So
Yeah,
I mean that collector's
very good.
edition is worth
it was
the money.
really good.
It's
It
only
was-
like $30 now.
Yeah,
so.
it's totally worth
it's
it.
so good. So yeah, I'm really excited to. I believe I'm at the final couple of missions in the DLC, in the Heart of Stone DLC. I'm going to try to go back to the rune guy and see like what are the best runes that I want, make it happen. I have my Witcher gear, I got my runes, and then I'll go and battle these fucking vampires.
There you go.
So that was then. I had a mobile game real quick, which I played and I didn't delete. So it says something about it.
Yeah.
And it's called Fish and Trip. So basically, you start off and you're a fish, and you use your finger to drag, and the fish kind of follows your finger. You drag him, and you're avoiding enemy fish and like landmines, whatever those spiky fish are. And you have to swim into other orange fish like you, and you make a school.
Okay.
And then the objective is an endless movement type of thing where you just try to build your school up as high as you can. The other fish are coming after you, taking bites out of you, so they're like, take 10 fish away, and you only need one fish to survive. Mm-hmm. So it's cool, very just pick up, put down kind of game. I was having like sometimes the turning, like it's not as sharp, or it wasn't kind of going the way I want, so it's not too bad.
Is this like top down, so you're dragging the fish?
It's like Asteroid. You know, it's like literally you're in the center, but you're going everywhere, and the enemies are just like fucking randomly coming flying across, and you're dodging and weaving and just.
Okay.
So it's similar to that, but sometimes I was feeling I was turning in the wrong direction. But I'm not sure if it's just because I'm not. Because you can go all over, and it's very top down. But yeah, it was an interesting game. Not bad. It was free. And, you know, play it on the train for 10 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you know, waiting for the train, 2-3 minutes, taking a shit, Brian.
Hey, perfect.
Get a school of fish while you're at it.
Yeah, there's some sort of joke there.
That's all I got.
Just gonna leave that one alone.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's it, man. I think we'll just move it on over to you since you're so freaking interested.
Wow, that's all right. Yeah, cool. So I've only played one game this week. It's Injustice 2 that came out this past Tuesday. Yep, and it's a sequel to the first Injustice game. It's a fighting game.
I'm so jealous of you, Brian.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
I'm so jealous. I'm so excited
really good
to hear about it.
So, I'm a huge fighting game fan. Like Street Fighter's been my jam for as long as I can remember. So is Mortal Kombat, and this is made by NetherRealm Studios. So it's the same people that do Mortal Kombat, and it has all of the great DC characters that you could possibly want, and some fucking weird, like obscured ones that I've literally never heard of. And I consider myself to be a decent fan of DC. I'm not like a huge.
Who haven't you heard of?
Atrocitus.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know? Did you know who that was before this video game?
Before this video game, Atrocitus? No.
Okay.
But I know who he is in the video game. I mean, I feel like first off, I'm not a big fighting fan. I'm just a DC fan.
Yep.
So the cinematics and everything that I've seen in this game, I've seen on YouTube, like, watch the entire, like, story. I'm like, I can't. Like,
God,
I'm not.
Don't do that. It's
Brian,
so
listen
good.
to me. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not. I've seen, like, everyone's been posting, like, Flash versus Reverse Flash, like, this cutscene, like, you have to watch. I'm like, I can't right now. I got to wait till I play the game. I'm super excited for the story of this game.
Yeah.
How is it?
So, that's the very first thing I did was I jumped into the story of this game because that is literally my favorite thing about anything that NetherRealm Studios does. So Mortal Kombat, the reboot of Mortal Kombat 9, and then Mortal Kombat 10, Injustice. The story is just the best thing about these games, or at least for me. The fighting mechanics are great too, but the story in this one is a little lackluster for what I thought they could have done. I haven't finished it yet. But I feel like they could have done something a little bit more interesting, but they played it safe. But the first thing you'll notice right off the bat is the beautiful facial animations of all these characters.
Looks fucking
So on a scale from like 1 to Mass Effect, like what are we
if Mass Effect is here and 1 is over here, it is fucking -12.
Yeah, nice.
So
Much like Gary's score in
in the drunken news.
Yep.
every week.
Point for yourself.
-12. Yeah.
But it's
Glad we're taking points away.
They look so good. It's so incredible too because I saw when the game was the day it was released. I was at work and I saw somebody.
Is that the one that was posted? I don't. Maybe you retweeted it with Harley Quinn.
Yeah, with Harley Quinn and Black Canary and Green Arrow.
that looked.
And it just looks. It looks like.
How does Superman look?
Good. Superman does look good. Although I will say,
That's all I need to know.
I know you're a Superman
Kiss
fan, and
his
I
ass,
hate
for
to
God's
tell you,
sake.
but like like it makes it easy to hate him in this game.
He's a dink.
And they just kind of like
Injustice alone.
yeah,
like,
that whole story arc
the
is
whole story arc of Superman kind of fucks
yeah,
him. But
Superman thinks he can tell all the other superheroes what to do because he's Superman.
but I will
Fuck you,
say
Superman.
so I'm playing through the story, and the way that the story works
got a
is that you
rant
play
idea.
a character. So it starts off as Batman. You play like 4 or 5 fights with Batman, and then you move on to the next character. And like the whole story arc, so like you'll beat up, like let's just say you beat up the Joker, and then at the end of that you move on to Harley Quinn, and then you play 5 matches of Harley Quinn, and Harley Quinn is doing something with Green Arrow, and then you finish that, and then you go on to Green Arrow. And
Seamless transition.
what I think is pretty interesting with the story, however, is that, like, for example, Green Arrow and Black Canary, when you're playing that chapter 3 is Green Arrow and Black Canary. So you can choose who you want to play as.
Yeah.
So what I found is it's a good thing and a bad thing, because you start to get pretty decent with these characters while you're playing it, but then you completely miss. So, like, I picked Green Arrow, and then I was like, oh, I'll just go to Black Canary next match. And then I was like, wow, I'm actually pretty good with Green Arrow. Let me, like, just play as Green Arrow. And so I found myself doing that with those chapters where it's like you can pick whoever you want. And then I'm on like chapter, I don't know, like 7 or 8 or something like that. And one of the last ones I did was 2 different characters. And I was like, I'm not going to just do the one character. I'm going to bounce back and forth each match. And that kind of worked out for me. So I would recommend doing that for you or any of the listeners at home to do that, and encourage you to try players that you
Have you played as the
wouldn't.
Flash yet?
Oh, dude, the Flash was my dude in last game, and they
Yeah.
kind of fucked him a little.
Yeah.
So they fucked up with his move set. So I can't really. I'm not as good as I used to be with the
Used to be,
Flash.
yeah.
So let's move past the story, because there's so much more beyond the story. So the fighting mechanics are super deep. So it's hard for newcomers to kind of
Super
like
deep.
come in, because you can't just button mash in this game, because you can button mash and try to figure out combos. But so for example, if the combo is square, square, triangle, and you hit square X, like you hit square and that's the first attack, and then you hit X and it like, there's like this weird
Since
stutter
it's not
step
the move,
because
he
it's not
pauses.
yeah. So if that's a combo, then it's fine. But if you hit a button that's not part of the combo, it kind of stops you dead in your tracks. And so a lot
Leaves
of
you to
people
get punched in the face.
exactly, it does leave you to get hit. But a lot of people have been saying that they up the movement speed from the first one, and I feel like it's opposite.
Really?
And I could be wrong, because I haven't played
Latency.
Injustice in a long time, so I could be very wrong. But
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
I'll let you know.
Let me know next week.
Brian's letting me borrow Injustice 1, which I'm super thankful for.
The first one?
Brian. The first one.
Nice.
For the 360.
But
They got your Shadow Warriors 2 side note coming out hot.
yep,
And if you get it, they give you the
the
first,
one for free, which you should check out.
Yeah, like that's a great deal.
Seems like a good
$35.
deal.
It's a great deal.
Yeah, I was thinking of you today. I saw it on the dashboard.
So they also have the juggle mechanics in the game I feel like are more prominent. So for those of you that don't know, juggling in a fighting game is keeping your opponent in the air by continuously doing a combo and transitioning into a new combo. So I feel like that's more prevalent here. So if I'm fighting a computer character that's on hard, I'm just getting smoked, because like if they hit me with one combo, I'm in the air
Juggling,
for
yeah.
fucking 4 seconds, and I'm like, can I fucking
Well, you need to have the
please-
perfect block timing to get out of it.
Yes,
But some combos you can't
get out of. But what they did in this game was, in the first game, you could only really use your meter bar for certain things. So there's 4 little sections of your full meter bar, and if you build that up all the way, you use your ultimate move, which are fucking super cool.
Well, I
Some
mean,
of
these are
them-
all superheroes. Like
Yeah.
They have like an unlimited playing field to play
Yeah.
with here.
Although I feel like they fucked up Batman's. Like Batman is such like a boring one, and you're like, how do you do that?
The
Batman's by the
Batwing.
books.
Yeah, it's the Batwing. It's
not flashy.
It's
Batman
it was,
gets the fucking job
It
done.
was kind of dumb. But
What
everyone
about,
else.
what about Superman's?
haven't seen Superman's.
Oh shit!
Not
I
yet.
remember in what was it, in the first one, when he's like punches someone up in the air and then he punches them forward and then he flies and like catches them by the throat and
And
like,
like throws him to the floor.
yeah.
I would just throw people straight into the sun if I was Superman. Be like, oh yeah?
Yep.
Is that what you think? Fah, right into the fucking sun, dickhead. What's up?
But yeah, so back to the meter bars. So you can use that, or in the previous game they had this clash mechanic where
Combo breaker.
no, it's not a combo breaker. So what it does is you both go into this moment where like they come to a point and it kind of like does like a little cutscene. So they say something witty, you know, or it's
Depending
Batman,
on which characters it is.
So they go back and forth. There's like some really good banter, really good writing as well.
Depending on the combos of characters.
Yeah, so
that you
like
get in
Green
there.
Arrow is your, you know, your typical jackass. Like he has like really funny comebacks or whatever, and Catwoman's like pretty, you know, innuendo-y.
Yeah.
So
She's a little.
minx.
Yeah.
So
Oh, Catwoman.
when you get into this point, it's a bet symbol. So like if Gary and I are doing it,
bet how much
we
combo?
bet how much meter bar we want. So if I know Gary only has 2 and I have 4, I can bet 3
And just
and
lock it
save
down.
one of him and then, you know, do some damage to him. So it really all depends on who initiates it. So if Gary initiates it to me and he beats me, he gets some of his health back. But if I beat him, I do like 15% damage to his health bar. So it's like a give and take of how you want to do it. But then also with these, the meter, there's these meter burn moves where you just do like a special move. So like the Flash will, a special move, he'll like dash and punch you, and then he'll punch you a bunch of times, and then he'll stop moving, and you keep getting hit. So you're like, oh, that's cool. But if you hit like the trigger button, it does like a special version of that where it does more damage and it does a little bit longer, but it burns your meter. So you're kind of always gambling with your meter. But if I'm juggling Gary up in the air and I'm hitting him a bunch of times, he can block and burn one of his meters and like push me away to stop that combo. So it all really kind of depends on how you want to proceed
You
with
have
the
to
game.
play it right.
So the meter bar has a lot more to offer in Injustice 2 than it did in Injustice 1.
I've seen that some
How's-
like that Naruto fighting game in particular, that they do the same thing with like you can block out of a combo, but it takes your special meter down. And I guess that you don't want to do it too quickly in the beginning. You know, maybe let them get a combo early so that you're not, you know, you have to like play it strategically. Then
Yeah, it all really
that's
depends
where like
on, you always play your opponent. You never
Yeah.
really play your game. You play your opponent.
so yeah.
How's the customization? Because I've seen there's pretty in-depth customization.
I'm glad
for
that you
it.
asked, Gary. I'm
Yeah.
glad that you asked. So the customization kind of works like in Overwatch.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're playing the game, you unlock, there's 4 different tiers of loot boxes. So there's bronze, silver, gold, and like diamond or whatever it is. And then there's also these things called mother loot boxes, which are more rare and hard to find. I haven't come across one yet, but I think that they just have more epic stuff.
Probably like
Makes sense. Mother boxes.
Yeah. So
the mother of all loot.
yeah, so what you find is each character has head, arms, torso, legs. So there's a lot of customization
A
going
lot of
on.
spandex.
Yeah, so lots of spandex.
Lots of spandex. Like,
So you can find these different items throughout the game. When you get these loot boxes, you decode them or whatever, and then you get, you know, new legs for Batman. So Batman's, you know, his stuff changes.
Yeah.
So it's not just like, oh, +5 to strength or whatever. This is what his legs look like. This is his costume, his outfit. So you can mix and match all these different
'Cause
parts,
It adds, like, once you get to like the upper, let's say,
echelons of
the costumes or whatever, maybe like it gives you
stats.
stats.
Yeah, so each character has like a base stats of like health, defense, attack, and special or ability,
yeah.
which is
It's like the
speed,
fast
really.
ones are
But-
always
yeah,
take the
But
most
does
damage.
that carry into multiplayer, or is that
Doubt
single
it.
player?
So what I've noticed is that it works into single player, and I think that online ranked matches, I don't think you can use your loadouts.
But you could use.
You can
choose
use
like
the
how
costumes.
you look?
Yeah,
But you
so
it doesn't bring the
doesn't
stats.
I
give
don't
any
think it
buffs.
brings the stats
Which
because
would
that
be
would
unbalanced.
be unbalanced as
Got it.
all.
And then
Yeah.
what about the
The shaders.
no? So instead of like Mortal Kombat,
Shaders
how
and
they
shit.
have the kind of like the towers, you have
So
the
they got
multiverse.
rid of, they
right?
got rid of the tower. So for those of you that don't know, Mortal Kombat, if you
Kombat.
play single player, you go through a tower. So it's like a tower of 7 people.
and Goron's at the top.
Goro,
Goro.
and then Shang Tsung. So it's all right.
Goron Zelda.
Yeah, hey,
Close
I'm
enough.
just-
He's getting into it.
Yeah.
I'm
So-
in it now.
Instead of towers, you have these things called multiverses, and the multiverse theory in DC is that there's an infinite amount of worlds in the DC universe. So it's like Batman on Earth 1 is the normal Batman that you know, but
The Flash
Batman
can
on
travel in between.
the
all-
Flash has the ability to transform in between, but Batman from 1319 Earth is a dickhead or whatever. So there's all these different scenarios. So there's an infinite amount of possibilities with all these superheroes.
It's a good
So
theory.
what you can do is in this game is that Batman has created. It's called Mother Eye or Brother Eye. I think it's Brother Eye, where he can see into the different worlds. So, wow. So yeah, feel free to write that one down. So what he does is you have these daily challenges. So each of these challenges, this is like 5 or 6 challenges, and it's like you have this much time to do this before it goes away. So there's infinite amount of like tower scenarios, and when you beat that, you get a prize. So it's like 10,000 coins, which then you can use to buy the loot boxes to get all the shit. Or it's like you beat this, you get 2 loot boxes, or however. Whatever
I thought the coolest
is.
thing about Mortal Kombat though was the
story.
crypt.
The crypt was really cool.
So, but I see they went a different way with it.
They went a different route with this, yeah.
But I did like the crypt aspect of Mortal Kombat, even though a lot of it was bullshit. But
yeah, but with this, they can just update challenges every day, every 25 minutes.
I like
or so.
this kind of like how like Halo would have its like daily challenges, or even like Destiny would be like if you here's your weekly challenge to beat this. I don't even know when
keeps
Destiny
the replay value.
Raid, whatever. Yeah, the replay value is through the roof. So I've been playing this. Bless you. I've been playing this game for let's just say 7 to 8 hours. I played one online multiplayer match, and that's because it was a daily challenge. So this multiverse thing is, like you go through these little towers. It's like, beat these 5 characters and do this challenge. It's like, okay, great. You can use whatever characters you want. That brings in the stats boosts from your armors or whatever you're wearing. Also, which I just wanted to mention, I mentioned shaders earlier. Yeah. Shaders changes the color of your character. So you unlock colors as well as armor, as well as...
Or yellow Green Lantern or whatever.
Yeah,
they're only like the whole outfit. You can these are your mix and match, and then you color it all the one shade.
Yeah. So think of it as just an alternate colorway. So for example,
so an item
Green Lantern
doesn't have its own color. You gotta shade it.
It kind of goes with the normal color. So for example, Batman is all black and grays, and then maybe he'll have an accent color.
Can you get a white shader?
Yeah, so I have Batman. So with me, I bought the Ultimate Edition, so I'm getting all the characters, everything. I'm just gonna get it. It's my thing. So with this, it came with like the God shader. So he's just all gray, all white and gold. And then so what I thought was interesting was that
that's the type of Batman I want to see.
White and gold, and then there's like God alternate. So there's like God alternate, demon alternate, and then you can just unlock. And there's like 20 shaders. There's so much customization. It's crazy.
I'm into that.
Yeah.
Have you played as Swamp Thing?
I haven't played as Swamp Thing. I beat the fuck out of Swamp Thing though with Harley Quinn.
He looks cool too. I mean, they all look fucking great. Yeah. I mean, that's why
Does the Green Arrow have the boxing glove arrow and stuff, or is it keep it more realistic?
I haven't seen it yet. I have seen a ice arrow, so
because sometimes his stuff was like goofy. Some of the comic books is like
that's
comical.
Yeah, that's the shtick.
But that boxing glove would be a pretty sweet special move, like the boxing glove arrow.
I mean, it's everything that I want from a fighting game and a DC game. Wait, we were talking about something before I got into shaders.
The multiverse?
No, we got past the multiverse.
The multiplayer?
Well, I haven't gotten into that. Oh, the daily challenges. Yeah. So there's like the challenges with the multiverse.
Yeah,
but then,
I want some hand gestures.
You want some hand gestures?
Yeah, come on, man.
So there's the weekly and daily and minute challenges basically. So you can have a challenge that lasts an hour and you have to do it within that hour. But there's also daily challenges per day. So it's like land 5 uppercuts. And that gives you, a bronze loot box, which is whatever.
Yeah, like Gary said, Halo did it very well. I forget which one they introduced
like
but it was like they had the week,
Halo
they had the day.
Reach, we used to do the challenges where you had to do every campaign mission with all skulls on. It was like the weekly challenge, and we would speed run them. And we would get through
we were savages. But it's a good idea. It's a really good idea. Replay value, like we said. And then it forces you, you play it a different way. You don't care about, sometimes it wasn't about surviving. It was just about, the challenge was do this. It didn't,
like I said, I mean, I'm not a big fight game guy. I never really got big into Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, but huge DC fan, and what makes me excited and want to buy this game right now is the story and just see what's going on with the story, how they're building the universe,
well,
the multiverse.
The cool thing about a fighting game with the story is that, for somebody like me, I don't want to play a fighting game because it's just kind of boring. Yeah. And I'm not down for figuring out the fighting. But if I would play a story, and it's not I don't have to keep up with the competitiveness of it because it's just vanilla. Yeah. It might be interesting for me I'll play a fighting game if it's cool enough.
I mentioned this because I played 8 hours, and I have I played one online match. That was it. I only played one. And there's so much content in this for single players that you could play this game all single player. You don't
Yeah,
ever have
and
to
I would
play
be
with
able
one
to figure
person.
out like the computer and stuff like that. You know, it's just like the tough thing about fighting games playing online is, or any multiplayer games, like you got to stay with it, or
Yeah.
they're gonna just.
So the very first, I played one online match and it was very laggy. What I do like though is that it shows you, you know, your opponent, how many wins or losses he has or she has, and their ping. So this person's ping that I was playing against was only 2 bars out of the 4 I think they show. So I was like, okay. And it was kind of laggy, and it was a close match. He beat me.
Fucking lag.
But no, he beat me fair and square.
You brought up the ping, didn't
Brought
you?
up the
Well, but no, I'm just saying like the servers are laggy. Like it feels like it's not very.
It's not a he thing, you don't
and
think?
no, it's not
Who'd
my
you play
opponent.
as?
I played as the Flash. He was Captain Cold.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Well,
can't
it's
have
tough
Captain
slowing
Cold
you
being the
down.
Flash, man.
Yeah. So
Slow you down with the cold though.
yeah, or the lag, whatever. You know, whatever.
Hey,
I'm not bitter.
But I'm not,
Yeah.
I'm not salted about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm really fucking enjoying the game. If you couldn't tell, it gets a fucking green light and a half from me.
Me too.
Half green lights.
No, green light and then a half.
Another
And
half.
then a half.
of
Another half.
So
green
you know
light.
those lights where it's like green and green arrow, pun intended. That's what this game gets.
Ooh, baby, green arrow.
Yeah.
There you
I
go.
like that.
Well, let me see. What else do I got?
Pointers, little crosses.
No, I just that was really the interactive environments. Those are fucking super cool.
Dude, you're all over with hand gestures tonight. He is just.
So like there's
sign
things in the
language.
background where, you know, like there's a statue in the background. You can just kick your enemy into the statue and he comes back, and or there's
statue crumbles and
yeah, the
shit.
statue
All the
crumbles.
characters that I've seen in the commercials and trailers are they all in the game? Like is Darkseid in the game right now?
So fun fact for you, this is a good story. This is a great story.
He's
Gary.
Italian
What is
tonight.
he
That's what's
all-
going on.
Boppity boopity.
Hey.
So Darkseid is a pre-order bonus character, or you can buy him for like $5
Yeah.
on the the store or whatever. But I pre-ordered
These
the
are
game.
not spirit fingers.
Pre-ordered the game, right? Pre-ordered the game.
Yeah.
I was waiting for my code, Googling it, like, hey, Best Buy, why didn't you send me my code? Whatever, no big deal. They didn't send it. And I was like, that kind of sucks. Like, I want Darkseid. I should get Darkseid. So I went onto the forums on bestbuy.com, which apparently is a thing. And like
You were there, weren't you?
ton of people didn't get this. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird. All right. So I'm like reading through it. And after like 3 or 4 pages, someone from the Best Buy forums was like, hey, just fill out this survey or whatever. And so this afternoon while I was taking a shit, just filled out the things being like, here's my order number. I bought the game. I didn't get the code, whatever. No lie, 2 or 3 minutes later, I got an email saying like, hey, I'm so sorry. Here's your code.
So you got Darkseid.
So I got Darkseid, downloaded them, good to go.
Yeah.
I sent the guy a thank you, and I haven't been able to play as him, but
he looks fucking sweet as well.
Yeah.
And then Brainiac's in the game.
Brainiac as well
I'm
is in the
super
game.
excited about Brainiac.
I think you have to. So minor spoilers, I guess. You have to unlock him because I can't play as him. He's
like
the boss.
villain
He's the
in-
villain.
So, do they have any of the Teen Titans? I know
Cyborg.
They don't
is in
have
it.
Beast Boy, do they?
No, they don't have Beast Boy. So I mean, like they fucking rotate characters like crazy.
Yeah.
They got Grodd though.
They got Gorilla Grodd. They have Firestorm. They have Blue Beetle. So like very obscure characters like that, like Cheetah.
They're
Who the
pulling-
fuck knows who
They're
Cheetah
pulling
is?
licenses out of the woodwork.
Well, it's weird too because so they have Robin, but
They're
Which
coming out
Robin?
with
which Rob? Do you want me to tell you?
Yeah, you can tell me.
So
Is it
you play Robin is Damian Wayne in this.
Damian
It's-
Wayne, like
it's not,
Bruce's son?
Yeah, like Bruce's son.
That's like
It's
the 5th Robin.
4th.
That's a lot of Robins.
So
well because they're coming out with Red Hood, right?
yeah, so a DLC character is Red Hood. So for those of you
Get
that
it.
don't know, you know what? I'm not gonna spoil it. Fucking read a comic.
Yeah. Yeah. Red Hood's coming. Is Nightwing in the game or is he coming?
So Nightwing, when you play as Robin, depending on the skin that you're wearing or the costume that you're wearing. So I was fighting him as Robin, and then later in the story, it's Damon Wayne but Nightwing, and it says Nightwing on like it doesn't
so
say
he's
Robin.
turned into Nightwing.
It shows him into Nightwing, and I thought that was cool because it's like a little different. But since I downloaded the game, pre-ordered the game, and I got the Ultimate Edition, I also got Green Lantern John Stewart. So 2 of his shaders are John Stewart and John Stewart alternate, and all new voice line, like different voice lines.
Like a different lantern.
Yeah, it's a different
I
lantern.
like
And
that
was
they go as far as the different voice lines.
Also, there's there's Flash, and then like Gary said, there's Reverse Flash. So that's really cool too. And then there's a third one. Oh, Supergirl and Power Girl. So I thought that was really cool. Also, Supergirl is
Super hot.
no, it's just like it's really cool the way that they kind of she's like a unique and interesting character in the story.
Yeah.
So
Wonder Woman.
Do they have like the gray Superman? What is
the
that?
black and
Black
white
and
one,
white.
When he gets like the backwards S.
the long hair.
Yeah, he becomes like I forget what.
There
what his
is a
name was.
Bizarro shader.
Yeah,
could just
Bizarro.
You're
Bizarro
thinking
Superman.
it's purple and yellow is Bizarro.
Yeah, he was
but
sick.
that's a different character. But Bizarro, this shader is on Superman. So if you couldn't tell, I'm fucking jazzed up about this
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
You, if
I
you're,
mean, it's making you sweat.
yeah, dude, it's not the game that's making me sweat. It's the
Talking
fucking
about
heat.
this game is so good. He's
like
sweating.
back there taking clothes off.
Woo! The man behind.
Take it all off,
fellas.
I can
Pay no attention to
can
the
see
man
his
behind the
moose
chasm.
knuckle over there.
Yo, Brian, don't be
Hey,
that
you
guy.
went there. Brian went there.
Yeah, speaking of going there, Gary, what did you play this week, pal?
I played Prey.
Yeah, I can't go there.
You can't go there.
I
You
mean-
got new games. You got money to spend. This guy went to Vegas.
Wait, you won $800 or whatever you said.
Pay back the
Gambling.
trip he just
Brian,
spent.
how much do you think I spent non-gambling?
in
Fair-
Vegas?
Okay. Yeah, that's
He's
a
probably
lot.
Think
still
about it. If you
under.
went to Vegas, what would you be spending your money on?
Everything else, drinks,
Everything
food,
else.
Well, yeah.
there, here,
well,
the
drinks
other
are free as long as you're betting.
Gambling.
thing. Not at
Yeah.
restaurants.
But not at restaurants, not at clubs. Clubs are super expensive.
Of course.
$30 a drink and fucking.
Yeah,
The
not at
crazy
other
ones.
things that you might experience.
Anyway, tell me about Prey, pal.
Jesus.
I'm praying
So-
for you, G.
Yeah. So I've been playing Prey. I've been playing more. I'm probably about 12 to 15 hours into the campaign, and I would say that I'm enjoying it more and more as I play it.
Mm-hmm.
The more abilities you get, the more in depth, like the more weapons, just like the environment, like there's more enemies coming. Like the mimics now at this point are laughable. I'm just like, oh, you're a mimic, like smack with
Bink,
my wrench,
you're
and then
dead.
just keep walking. The ammo is scarce. A lot of the weapons are just scarce, like, and a lot of like grenades, and I found a couple different types of grenades. So you have your like EMP grenades, you have your recycle grenades that you can turn enemies and anything else that's in its vicinity to any sort of recyclable material, which then you can use
To like create stuff, yeah.
create ammo and health and whatever. And then there's also these grenades that will, as you're walking around, it will tell you how many aliens, like is there an alien presence around you,
Oh, okay, that's good.
and then how many is okay. There's a lot in this. I'm pointing at a room. There's a lot of aliens in there. I throw it in the middle of the room. It attracts all of them. So then all the mimics will come out. All the phantoms will come out. They'll all go towards that, and then I can either start just blasting away with my shotgun, or I
Sneak
can
away now.
sneak through.
What about throwing a recyclable grenade in there as well?
You could do that if you want.
and then just get a
think
bunch
that's-
of resources.
Yeah.
I think
So
that's
I've
still
been-
way he's referring to option number one.
Yeah. So I've been
Shotgun
playing the
blasting.
game.
Yeah, it's like the same. Option
More stealthily, I would say. I've upgraded some of my stealth, so I'm not as easy to detect when I'm crouched. I've also have now dived into the neuro mods, which are the alien abilities. So now if I want, like, I can attract all the aliens over there, and then as they're distracted, they would see me. If I'm just walking through, I'll just turn into that chair and I'll just roll my way through the room and then come out of the chair and then just keep it moving. Justin saw me a little bit earlier today
He was
trying to
playing
get into a room.
Well, replay value comes into play where there was a window, but it wasn't glass. It was like bars, so Gary's character couldn't fit through it. So he was trying to like use the glue gun to stand on top of it, and then to try to pull an object that would be small enough, turn into that object, pull it outside, and then go back through the bars as that object.
You don't pull that object through the bars.
Or you just straight up
you
turn
just
into it.
turn into it. So it's not a thing where you're like, okay, see that chair right there? I'm going to turn into that chair. It's actually,
You're just
see
mimicking
that
its
chair? I mimic that chair, but I'm still here. So that chair is still there.
Oh,
you don't
okay.
pull
I
that
thought it was
item, or
pulling.
you don't go to that item. You just turn into whatever that item is.
Okay,
that's
so you
why
were standing in front of
it's
the
a
window,
duplicate.
turning into a smaller item to roll through.
To
the
try to
bars.
get through the bars to get into that room that's locked.
So
right?
stuff like that's interesting. I'm sure
Yeah,
you
so
spend plenty of
you
time
can
doing that kind of
upgrade
shit.
your character to do that, and then to turn into bigger and better things. Like if I set up a turret over there, I can literally mimic into a turret and turn myself into a turret and start shooting things down.
Nice.
So there's a lot of different things that you can do. As you progress, there's more like zero gravity. So there's one zero gravity room where I'm trying to there's pretty much a corridor that circles the Talos station, and in it is just like crazy aliens. But you have your jetpack and you're literally just like flying through it, like bobbing and weaving. And then there's certain areas where there'll be a locked door, but then there's a spinning fan. I'll use my glue gun, shoot it, slow it down, go in there, go through the vent, get through there. So there's a lot of different ways that you can play this game that depending on how you're upgrading your character, you can solve these things. Whether, I need a key card for this. Well, I can either use a key card or I can turn it into a small cup and go through this vent or go through this little hole. Or if I have one of those Nerf guns where you can find a different angle to shoot at.
Can you mimic a living thing?
No.
Have you seen anything in the skill tree to mimic like another human being or like another one of the aliens?
No. Because if they attack you, you're still
just yourself. Yeah, but I was wondering, like, let's say I guess there's not many human enemies out there, but I was saying, like, get through a checkpoint because you look like a guard or something like that.
Yeah. So there's the guards. I did find this one guy. He was in a locked cage, and it was giving me this option: do you want to help this guy, or do you want to let him out? But then before you wanted to help him, you could read through the emails and say, why is this guy locked up? It turns out he's locked up because of 4 murders, a couple robberies, whatever it may be. And he's like, did you just read through my file? I didn't do all that stuff, yada yada yada. But it's like, if you let this guy out, he's telling me I have the code to get into the armory. Yeah. And then I'm sitting there going, do I let him out? Guns, or do I just kill this guy? He's an asshole. So of course I let him out, and we went into the armory.
And then he tried to pull a fast one on you.
No, so then I ended up getting all the guns and everything, and then he's talking to me thanks so much, man. I'm like, dude, you're a dick, and I'm just I'd kill him real quick. And but then an hour later, I'm going through that same area, and I find a vent to get behind that room that I got at the armory, and it had a little hole, and I shot my Nerf gun because I was like, I don't know what this room is. Yep. Shot my Nerf gun through the hole, opened the door, went around the room. It was the armory. So I could have saved or killed that guy,
left him
and
there.
I still could have got into the armory if I found this vent to then shoot my.
This sounds very Deus Ex.
Yeah.
Very, very similar.
Yeah.
To that.
So I think it's really smart. The level design it's hidden in plain sight, but there'd be things that you're gonna walk by continuously for a while until you figure it out, and then reading emails and all that stuff is rewarding. There's also transcribes that you can find where you listen to, you find a transcribe, you listen to it, it tells you some story, but it also will give you additional
transcript.
I think
I guess I transcribe the transcripts.
Yeah, some transcribing.
Right. Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Is that what they call them? Or?
I think it's a transcript, and I think the art of reading it is transcribing. Potentially, we're gonna have to Google that. But I knew what you meant
because I wrote it down. I was like, transcribing gives more script.
Well, I mean,
I didn't know
sombrero
if it was
or
what it was
sombrero
called, or that's what
I just can't look at you right now, Steve. You have no clothes on.
I've never seen you with just one shirt.
Yeah,
t-shirt.
He's wearing just a t-shirt.
You're looking good. You been working out?
Have you?
No, not at all.
So you can get additional story through things that you read, or if you listen to transcribes, or you transcribe
a transcript.
You listen to audio logs.
Jesus Christ.
Cheese and rice, please. Come on, man.
It's a family show.
Yeah.
But you can get more side missions. Right now, I have no idea where I'm going. The main story is trying to bring me to a place, but then it's you need a key code. The key code is in this room, but it doesn't tell me where that room is. So now I'm backtracking now,
looking for the room.
But now as I
go, I can tell you where to go.
To your map.
No, not to the map. Go back to that first area where you find the broken elevator.
Yeah.
Take the elevator up.
No,
because now you got the glue gun.
No, don't listen to him.
Oh.
There's a little map where it shows you boppity boopity. It shows you where every room is.
Cool.
So, so maybe if your map doesn't say hey, this is the conservatory.
Yeah, because I gotta go.
So the elevator has a listing of everything.
I gotta go to some room.
Smart.
Only 'cause
some
I
section of
tried
the
right
ship
there.
that has this guy's office in it is what I need to find the key code to get
So
into.
yeah,
this
check
room.
the elevator and see what floor you think you
Although
should start on.
I will say
It's
that
like
you
Macy's,
can
it's like
download
Mentos
map
floor.
areas, right?
Mhm.
Very similar to like a Metroid or
Yeah.
like a Metroidvania-esque type of game. But yeah, like I'm surprised that you don't have that, but I'm pretty sure that right in front of the elevator, it's like one of those plate things in the mall that
Yeah,
you
there's
see.
a lot of reading in this game.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like they don't just put things in your face. Like you don't really.
It's not like follow this mark. It's like you have to kind of think.
But-
That's what I really liked about Deus Ex was
Yeah.
that you had to like they were like, oh, go to this location. And it's like, where
Is
the
that what
fuck
you
is
really
that?
liked about it, Brian?
Ah,
Fucking Deus Ex.
Adam Jensen.
Adam Jensen. That's what I liked about that game. Because
My-
this is personality.
my favorite was his sunglasses that he just
Just had a squeeze on his face. What can I help you with, miss? Don't be afraid.
So
I'm not worried.
I will say,
Bats.
I will say that
Jensen.
the gameplay is fun. The story is really interesting. I'm enjoying the story. I'm enjoying the gameplay. I will say the only thing I don't enjoy is still the enemies are just
bland.
they're bland, but like pretty annoying. Like
there,
really
boss-
annoying.
So they're
like, mini
annoying
boss
and
battles?
bland?
I haven't experienced a boss battle, but I experienced just a lot of different aliens coming at you at the
Wow.
same time. Little mimics that are just crawling around the ground, or phantoms, or just
Is that thing that I saw?
You saw a phantom.
Yeah, throwing fireballs and shit at you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but I did get these. It's some sort of periscope or some sort of scope that you press on the right joystick, and instead of zooming in now, it allows you to scan things.
The area.
So
Okay.
you can scan areas. If you see an alien, you scan that alien, and depending on how big that alien is, it takes a long time. So if you're seen when you're scanning something,
It's
you're not
gonna-
gonna have enough
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
But if
You're gonna have a bad time.
but the more aliens you scan, the more alien abilities you can unlock.
Is there
through
any
neuron
horror
locks.
in this game right now? Or
Horror?
yeah, horror or like suspense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
creepy?
it's the entire game.
You're creep-
It's like I mean,
so you guys are
there's-
feeling the creep?
I
Well-
mean, I've only played like 5 to
Are you
7
feeling
hours,
the
yeah.
creep?
But
Oh,
it's-
big time.
Yeah.
there's a couple of parts where like you're going through a room and all of a sudden the ceiling just starts dropping. Like there'll be like how it's tile ceilings. Like a tile will fall, another tile will fall, and then chairs will just move around and like it's
Yeah.
like Ghostbusters. And you're
How
just
to
like, what the
I guess
fuck?
the only game like this that I've actually beaten that was actually kind of sketchy was Dead Space. So was it like as on that level of freakiness? Is it less freaky than
Well,
that?
Dead Space I think was a little bit more gory.
It was a little bit more in your face, like intense. Like
Yeah, this is
like
This
oh
is
shit.
the unnerving of you don't know
The
what
unknowing.
is an alien, what is real. One of the last rooms I went into, it was a laboratory, and there was Post-it notes everywhere. And it was like, oh, you can pick up these Post-it notes. But then I started reading the Post-it notes because they didn't tell you what was on them. And it was just somebody went around this entire laboratory and said, I'm not a mimic. I'm not a mimic. I'm not a mimic. And he was putting Post-it notes on
Everything that wasn't.
that
So did you
wasn't
find a mimic in that room?
I didn't
without
find a
Post-it?
mimic in
Ah,
that, but
shit.
it's something I saw that didn't have a Post-it note. I was like smashing the hell out of it. And it was just another glass bottle.
Yeah.
That's a cool strategy that someone would think of
But
in a
somebody
stressful
was
situation.
doing that, and so there's a lot of story that's there,
adding to the lived
but
in.
it's not.
If you're really trying to find it,
yeah,
it's there.
And then I mean the story itself. I mean, you mentioned it before. You're talking to a future self of you, and so there's this past and future thing going on. You don't know who to trust. You don't know what's going on. You have no idea what's going on, but you just know that you're important to what's happening. So I'm enjoying it. I am. I probably wish I was playing Injustice 2, but Prey is definitely a good game. I think if you enjoy the BioShock franchise, 100%, you'll enjoy this game. If you enjoy space, you'll enjoy this game. If you're looking for just like a on-rails shooter, like first-person shooter, this isn't the game.
no,
this is not
absolutely
it.
not.
But for someone like myself, I'm enjoying it.
I'd
So
also preface that with like Deus Ex, things like that.
yep, you got to take your time with it, and
maybe
then you
even
think outside the box.
Dishonored a little bit as well.
Yep. So I think you think outside the box, replayability, because there's so many different abilities in the game that you can create new characters. And then the fact that you can speed run this game in 20 minutes is insane to me.
Yeah, never even get a power.
And never even get one of these powers, because I got these powers I don't know, 10 hours into the game.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if they glitch to the power spot and then they get these powers. I don't know what they do. I'm very interested to beat the game and then watch a 20-minute
and then go for
speed run and then see if I can even come close to that.
Yeah. Let's go for it.
But so I'm enjoying it though. Praise good.
Very nice, very nice. And I think that's going to be it for Under Your Thumb this week. We're going to take a quick break and come right back with the Drunken News
Game show.